This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael, and I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen On the Waterfront, a drama film from Elia Kazan made back in 1954. It follows Terry Malloy, a prizefighter turned longshoreman working under the wing of his older brother, who in turn works for the corrupted union of the Waterfront. Terry is upset when a fellow worker is killed, the result of their plan to speak to the Waterfront Crime Commission about what's going on. It fills him with a sense of guilt, sparking a series of events that threatens both the safety of Terry and his friends and family, and the balance of power and fear between the corrupt bosses and the other dock workers. I'm having to paraphrase a bit in that description because the film's story is pretty dense with details, with a great balance between a focus on developing character relationships and progressing the actual story itself. There are some weak spots in there, I feel, like the details of the ongoing corruption of the union bosses, but I suppose it's balanced by the more looming threat set up from the beginning, which is indeed effective in setting up the stakes at play throughout the rest of the film. It seems that every decision that's made can be traced to how it might affect the union boss's bottom line, from actual court testimony to having the very idea of wanting to change things. And every character, from the leads to the extras, have some clear position in all of this. It's a choice of morality in the end, with Terry essentially caught between remaining loyal to his brother and the business, or doing what he feels is right by ratting on his bosses and upending the entire operation. Speaking of Terry, his performance here by Marlon Brando is definitely the highlight of the film, and it's easy to see why. Almost immediately he stands out from the rest of the cast, with a more natural and less structured manner of speaking compared to the enunciations and forthright deliveries of the other actors. Not only does this bring a better sense of immersion between Terry and the world he lives in, as though he were someone picked up off the streets where the film is set, it also makes him a bit more humanistic in a sense, with his problems becoming easier to connect with by how realistically he deals with them, and overall making him more sympathetic as a character and more believable as a person, rather than just a figure or an archetypal role within the greater fight. More simply put, Terry feels real, and through him, the story and its stakes feel that much more important. It's not really easy to talk about On the Waterfront because it gets a lot of things right, from the pacing of its plot and its consistent tone, to the use of real-world locations and an excellent sense of cinematography to further immerse the audience and cast into this world. I will say again that while the story is pretty complete, there are still a few cracks, mostly in the way of world building beyond the simpler ideas of good and evil. That all said, the final film is still very compelling, both as a story of personal triumph over potential destruction and the tenacity of the human spirit, not to mention Brando's performance working as a glimpse into the future of the craft of acting. Or something like that, I suppose. I'm no expert. On the Waterfront, Elia Kazan, 1954. 4.5 stars. I definitely recommend watching it when you can. Anyways, I'm done here. If you liked this review, leave it a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Oh, also, this is the movie where the monologue about being a contender comes from. I knew that much about it going in. I wonder if it hits differently if you don't see it coming.